Now we'll go into this medium access technique. What, see, from the name itself we get what are the technique to access the medium. Okay, so first is the channelized medium access. That means the medium is available. Okay, you have channelized the medium. Okay, we have split the medium into different channels. Okay, so if you take the 2.4 gigahertz, how much? What is the bandwidth? 83.5 megahertz is the bandwidth. Correct? Correct? From 2400 gigahertz to 83.5 megahertz, you are using this bandwidth. Okay. Now you have split this big thing into small channels. So you have channelized it. Okay. So when one router is using one channel, okay, other router is using other channel. See, he can go get this medium and this router can go get this medium at the same time. Because they are going to transmit in different frequencies. Different channel means what? Different frequency. Since they are transmitting in different frequency, they can transmit at the same time. Correct? So they can access the medium. So this way of they can partition the medium and access. This is what a channelized access. Dynamic access is it is like the medium share is dynamic, like how if it needs a medium, it go gets it. For Ethernet, right? See, suppose in Ethernet, if you want to transmit the packet, it will go immediately transmit the packet. That's it. There is no channels on them. Wired. Ethernet is wired communication. Okay, there is no channel. So this is these are the two ways where you can access the medium. Okay. So see, what is CSMA is this is carrier sense multiple access. Means whenever you want to transmit, you just sense the carrier, whether somebody is transmitting or not, and multiple people can access the carrier. Okay, suppose I have an Ethernet wire. Many computers are connected to the Ethernet wire, and every computer can access the Ethernet wire, right? Whether a signal is there or not. And similarly, Wi-Fi you take. Wi-Fi, every Wi-Fi device can access the Wi-Fi medium and see whether data is there or not. This is carrier sense and multiple access. Okay. In this there are two variations. One is collision detection and collision avoidance. What is collision detection? Okay. Collision detection is basically in Ethernet. This is wired transmission, right? In Ethernet, if you want to transmit, you transmit. You will not wait. Okay. And you see whether any problem is there. If some other people also transmit, there will be a collision. So you detect that collision. So collision has happened. So you detect that collision and you wait for some time and again retransmit. See, this is the network. The collision can happen anyway. There will be another system C. There might be another system D. Okay. Any system can send any data. Suppose let's say this is sending A, data A. At the same time this sends data B, then there will be collision.
One is waiting for another.
Right? So you send the data, if two systems send the data at the same time, collision will happen. So you detect the collision and what you do is you wait for random time and then you send. This is what is transmit, listen on collision, then stop transmission. Okay, this is what Ethernet uses. Ethernet what is, it will not wait for, it will not wait before, if you want to transmit, it will go immediately transmit. And it will wait to see whether a collision has happened or not. It detects a collision. How can it detect the collision? Only after the collision has happened. So you detect the collision and then you wait for a random time, after it will send again. Again a collision happens, again detect the collision, wait for random time. This is what is CSMA CD. Okay, so what is collision avoidance? This is what is used in Wi-Fi. Basically, what you do is before transmitting, you wait for a random time and then transmit. So the probability of collision is avoided. So it is avoidance. See here, when you want to transmit, immediately you go transmit. But here it's not like that. You wait, the device need to transmit or receive at an instant. Okay, so when a device will only transmit or receive, it will not transmit or receive both the time it will not do. So this is used in Wi-Fi. Here you avoid a collision but by not transmitting immediately, but by waiting for a random time and transmitting, so that you reduce the probability of collision.
Sir, this collision avoidance.
So this is the detection and avoidance. Okay, when the medium is detected to be idle, it will transmit. This will continue to listen for the medium during the transmission and stop the transmission when collision is there. If there is any collision, it will stop the transmission. Ethernet uses this. Okay, here when the medium is detected to be idle, see here when the medium is idle only it will transmit. But after it transmit, other guy can transmit, right? Right. So suppose if you see a Ethernet, two systems are there. Okay, it has transmitted. Okay. At the same time, this is also trying to assess the medium. Same is seeing that medium is idle. Both are transmitting at the same time. Now collision will happen. Because once one guy is transmitted, the signal will be there in the line and other guy will not transmit. Okay. But here what is, when the medium is idle, here the medium is idle, now immediately you transmit. Here if the medium is idle, you have to wait for random time before transmission. Okay. This randomness decreases the probability of collision. Okay, this is what is collision avoidance. Okay, so now here in Wi-Fi there is two modes. One is called as infrastructure mode and ad hoc mode. What is infrastructure mode is, usually you have a router. Usually in our home you have, right? You have an internet connection, you have a router, and this is called access point, where you access the internet through this router. This is called access point, AP. And you have stations. Station can be a laptop or a mobile. You connect to this access point through Wi-Fi and you access the internet. So this is what is infrastructure mode. Ad hoc mode is between mobile to mobile you can have connection, right? Share it, not through the hotspot. Hotspot is again creating an AP here. Okay, without hotspot you can have a connection between two mobiles. Now Wi-Fi direct internet is coming, right? You just connect to Wi-Fi direct to a TV and you can stream what is there in your mobile in the TV. So that is called connection between stations. That is called this one. Okay. So there is no central entity. This is the central entity here. There is no central entity here. Okay. This is called infrastructure mode. This is ad hoc mode. Okay. Okay. So now it is resolution such as Wi-Fi direct internet is recent ad hoc mode. Okay. So now if you see this, the access point, and this is a Wi-Fi network, right? And there are some stations connecting to the access point. Okay. So this is called basic service set. Okay. This is refers to the local Wi-Fi network. This is the Wi-Fi network. Okay. And this is called access point. This is the station. Okay. And you can have two access points connected to each other. Okay, and they can connect to the internet. Completely connected. So this complete thing is called ESS, extended service set. Okay, so this connecting to APs is called as a distribution system. Okay, so how this router gets the internet connection? Basically, you need to go to service provider. What is the service provider? Airtel, ACT. So they will get internet.
Internet கொடுக்கணும்னா அவங்க இதனுடைய எந்த ஒரு பார்ட் அவங்க வச்சிருப்பாங்க சார்.
So basically if you want to give connection to the internet, right? So what is internet? What is internet between is nothing but you have a network where lot of computers are connected. Correct? Where lot of computers are connected to this network. Okay. So there will be service provider. Service provider means they provide service to the internet. Okay. So basically what they will do is basically using a fiber optic cable, they will take a fiber optic cable, and then from the fiber optic cable they will bring it to a home, and in the home they will attach the fiber optic cable to your router or through a telephone wire. Okay, this router will do all these things, right? It will convert your packet to be sent to the fiber optic cable. So usually through fiber optic cables only you have connection to the internet. Okay, through this fiber optic cable, basically they convert this they will have some device where it will convert the fiber optic cable things to the Ethernet. This Ethernet they will get and plug it to your router. Through this you get the internet connection here.
சார் அந்த ஃபைபர் ஆப்டிக் கேபிள்ன்றது அவங்க சர்வீஸ் ப்ரொவைடர் வந்து நம்ம
So fiber optic cable, see this internet is among the whole world, right? So the fiber optic cable is the cable which is connected under the sea. So all the internet is connected via these cables, right? They have laid Google, AT&T, they will lay these fiber optic cables under the sea. Okay, now this is how the packet will look like. See, you see, right? Basically, if you want to transmit a packet, suppose you type google.com. So suppose you type google.com. What happens is a HTTP request, right? So your packet will look like your HTTP header will be there. Okay, and then your data. Okay, HTTP runs on top of TCP. So your TCP header will be there. TCP runs on top of IP. Your IP header will be there. Okay, so this is called as the MAC Service Data Unit. This is what is called as MSDU, Service Data Unit. Okay, now through which network is going to go out? Suppose if it's going to go out through Wi-Fi network, then you will have this Wi-Fi header or the MAC header. This MAC header, right? So this complete thing is called as the MPD, MAC Protocol Data Unit. Okay, after this comes the PLCP header. Now what is PLCP? PLCP stands for Physical Layer Convergence Protocol. The physical layer is there, right? Okay, basically your data should be able to go, there are a lot of specifications we saw. A means it will do one modulation, B one another modulation, the data rate is different for different specifications. So since the data rate is different, the phi will be different. This is a phi layer, right? This is a physical layer. Okay, so this physical layer is different for different specification, and the data you send should work for all the layers. All the any specification you use for any phi, your data should be transferred. So this is the layer. This is a physical layer, conversion layer. It will enable our code to work with all the phis. Okay, phi is nothing but the physical layer. Okay, so now if you see what is physical layer is, it allows MAC to operate on any phi with minimum dependency. What is MAC? Medium access control. MAC is the kind of logic in hardware or software, anything you take, how to access the medium. We studied, right, the CSMA, CD. So you need to access the medium, and then you should be able to access the medium, wait for random amount of time. So there's some logic involved, right? That is what is MAC. How to access the medium, all those things will be there in the MAC. Okay.
mobile Wi-Fi.
So here MAC defines the layer 2 address. Okay. So MAC is basically suppose you have layer, right? This is a two system which has to communicate. Okay. You have layer. Okay. In this IP layer is that. This is the layer 3. In this TCP layer is that. This is in layer 4. Okay, in this layer it uses IP address. Okay, so this is the logical address to identify a particular machine. Okay, but through Wi-Fi or through Ethernet, if you want to send a packet to this, you need to put the MAC header, right? After the IP header, you need to have the MAC header. I showed you, right?
Yes.
So after the IP header, this is the service data unit, you need to put the MAC header. MAC header will contain the MAC address, which is the hardware address. To send any packet over any particular hardware, you need to have the MAC address, which is usually 48 bits, which is 6 bytes. Okay, so using this, so this is how the data goes. Okay, so you need to have the IP address, and you also need to have the MAC address if you want to send a data to a particular machine. Okay, so when you come to routing, you will understand more. So, but this physical layer convergence protocol is mainly allows the MAC. So after this, you will have the MAC, right? This layer 2, you will have the MAC functions and all here. Okay. Okay, and then comes the physical layer, that is the phi. So this MAC has to should be able to work on all types of phi. The phi will be different when the specification changes, right, from A, 11A, 11B, the phi will be different. So to allow all MAC to work in all the phi, this protocol is there. Okay, and here there will be some physical medium dependent characteristics. Okay, so that is here. This allows the MAC to work in all the phi, and physical medium dependent characteristics and methods will be there. Okay, so basically you understand this is enough. Okay, now what are the different kind of frames available? Suppose in Wi-Fi there are categorized as 3 set of frames. One is management frames. What is management frames? Is basically, suppose I connect, right? I click here and I do a disconnect. That means my connection is disconnected. This is a Wi-Fi connection. It is disconnected. Okay. So while disconnecting, there will be some frames going. These frames are all management frames. While connecting, some frame is going. While disconnecting, some frame is going. Right. This and all is management frames. Okay. What is control frames? Okay. So there will be some frames for managing the medium access. Those things are control frames. We learn about that. Okay. So once the connection happens, suppose you are connected, you did a connect. Now the management frames are going now to make the connection happening. Okay. Now it's connected. Okay. Now you can send data, right? Once you connect to the Wi-Fi, you can see YouTube. The YouTube is nothing but data frames. Okay. These are the set of frames which are the most important thing, and we will see the main important frames here. See, usually this beacon, right? This beacon is a management frame which is transmitted by the AP. I asked you, right? If I click this, I am able to see these names. How you are able to see these names? So how you are able to see these names means this beacon, it will transmit this AP, right? It will transmit a packet every 100 milliseconds. It will transmit a packet called beacon. This is nothing but a management frame. The station, it will keep on seeing the beacon, right? It will keep on transmitting every 100 milliseconds. In the beacon, this name will be there. This name will be there. Fresh Kite, this Redmi, this name will be there in the packet. So the station sees the name in the packet and then displays it here. Okay. This is what they call it as scanning. This is passive scanning. Scanning is basically to see how many APs are around. We click here, right? It scans and sees how many APs are around and displays the list here. Okay, this is what is beacons. Okay, this is transmitter every target beacon transmit time, target beacon transmission time, which is usually 100 milliseconds. It is configurable. Okay. Okay. There is something called as time synchronization function. Basically, see, the station has to know when the beacon will come, right? The station has to know, see this 100 milliseconds, see here the sees the beacon. Then when the next beacon will come after 100 milliseconds, okay? So the station timestamp has to be synchronized with the AP timestamp. Then only the station will be in sync with the AP. So down station will know, okay, now beacon is going to come. If it is in power save mode or something, it will wake up and will get the beacon. So this is what is a timing synchronization function. Okay.